to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Brittany and this is Brittany Likes Bookies, where we keep it cute, we keep it classy, and we definitely keep it diverse. So I'm gonna be 100% honest with you and try not to make this intro as long as I normally do because everyone knows Brittany likes to ramble. But I thought I would take some time today and sit down because mentally I've been going through it. As many of you know, I have post-COVID long haul syndrome. I'm also now being tested for POTS, and it's been really, really tough on me mentally. It's super isolating. You know, it is categorized as a disability, so it's hard, especially when all of your tests come back normal, and we can't really find out like any other solution except for literally it's post-COVID long haul syndrome, and like it's really, really hard to prove. Anyway, so I've been struggling mentally, like very, very heavily, and it's not been easy. So I figured, why not do a video talking about books that I find as comfort reads, or books that just over the years I've loved. I've always gravitated towards going back to, and talk about them, talk about my love for them. So who knows how long this video is going to be, because if you saw the stack behind me, you would be like, ma'am, ma'am, what are you doing? It is a pretty big stack. I do have a good bit of books that are comforts for me, books that I recommend all the time, books that I still to this day have never gotten over. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, team, I'm gonna put my mic down here, and let's hope you can all still hear me. Let's see if I can do this in a somewhat order. I'm going to start with YA. You might hear me shuffling around, I'm sorry, but I'm going to start with some of my favorite YA contemporaries. Let me pull some over here. Oh, goodness. There's a lot, so I'm not sorry you're going to move with me, but yeah. We have some stacks. So that's what we're all going to be talking about today. But let's start with some YA contemporaries that I really love, that I go back to and reread every now and then, or when I need to pick me up, I will pick out my favorite passages and read those. So, let's get started. One of the first that I fell in love with Gabby's writing from the minute that I read her first book, and this was no different. Like a Love Song is really, really, really special to me. I adore Gabby. I adore this because I love the idea of like pop stars and, you know, like fake dating. So I think this it's just such a fun YA. It has everything that I love in it, and Gabby's writing is so wonderful, and it really pulls you into the story. And this is a book that I will gravitate back towards over and over again, especially when I'm struggling, because it does talk a lot about like the pressures and trying to be perfect all the time. And as someone who is a pathological people pleaser, I can definitely relate to wanting to be perfect all the time. And while I'm not a pop star, I do understand like pressure and wanting to be the best. So this book holds a very, very special place in my heart, as does Gabby. And honestly, it has fake dating, reformed pop star, a good boy, indie film star. So this is wonderful, and if you've never checked out Gabby's work, I highly recommend Like a Love Song, but both of her books are great. One of my other favorite YAs is She Gets the Girl by Rachel Lippincott and Allison Derrick. This is one of my favorite sapphics. It's so sweet, and like when I first read this, it felt like a warm hug. As somebody who came out later in life, I love seeing those who feel comfortable enough to come out in their teens and, you know, young adult era, being able to love and fall in love. And this is really sweet. I do believe, if I'm remembering correctly, that this is loosely based off Allison and Rachel's own love story. I could be wrong, but I feel like I remember reading that at some point. But this is really sweet. I loved it so much. They are in college, so like they're still a young adult, but like I loved it. I love it. This is a book that I gravitate back towards. There's another companion that's coming out this year that's also adorable, and I loved it. So if you haven't, check out She Gets the Girl. Next up, no one is going to be surprised to see this author because I've talked about her before. Rachel Lynn Solomon is one of my favorites. I wish I could express like how much I love her work. I started with this, Today, Tonight, Tomorrow, and honestly, it was all I thought about for like 2 weeks. I love Rachel. I love the way she writes. There is a book that's after this. I have to find my copy, but yeah, this is low key my favorite. But I also did love We Can't Keep Meeting Like This. See You Yesterday. I love Weather Girl. What Happens in Amsterdam. Those are some of her adults. But Rachel and her YA is just, they hold a special place in my heart. They've always been wonderful, and I gravitate back towards Today, Tonight, Tomorrow pretty frequently. I do think the next book is, yes, it is. It is indeed behind me. Good for me. Past, Present, Future is the sequel. There is something about these two that it just really gets me, and also this was the exclusive version of this, and it's just so cute. Rachel has such a way of writing and making you fall in love with the characters, and yeah, these are very special to me. Another one that is also very special to me, similar to She Gets the Girl, is Cool for the Summer by Dahlia Adler. I love seeing bisexual main characters, especially bisexual main characters who have dated both men and women. I think it's really important because a lot of people will like dismiss bisexuals for dating like in a straight presenting relationship. Like just because you're a bisexual person in a straight passing relationship does not make you any less bisexual, and it irritates me when people say that. As a bisexual who has mainly been in straight passing relationships, it doesn't make me any less bisexual. I am still bisexual at the end of the day. So this is just really, really, really important to me. It's such a great way to tell a story, and Dahlia just in general is one of my favorite authors. I have not read a Dahlia Adler book that I haven't loved, and I think I just picked this one because it holds a special place in my heart as someone who is bisexual and like has gone from men to women, women to men, and wasn't really sure about their feelings and like what it was like. I came out later in life, so this is just really important, and I really, really love this book. Next up, goodness gracious, let's pull these out of here. I've talked about Kelsey a few times. These are Kelsey Stelting. This is her Curvy Girls Club series. It's, I think, 13 books. But two of my favorites are Curvy Girls Can't Date Best Friends and Curvy Girls Can't Dance. These are just, they're really special because, I mean, I have personally lost a lot of weight, but as someone who was curvy and, you know, grew up in the 90s in the era of like needing to be stick thin, and you know that was the look and it was what was pretty, and it's really nice to see plus size women in books, especially in YA books. I think it's really, really important, especially when they fall in love, and you know it's not about their size, it's about who they are as people, and that's how it should be. Obviously, friends to lovers is one of my favorite tropes, so this is probably my favorite in the entire series, but I also love Can't Dance, and there also is a queer love story. It's sapphic, that I also love. I can't find my copy. It's somewhere in here, but this series is really, really great. It's really empowering, and I love how Kelsey writes, and you should read them. She does also have an adult series, I believe, that's written under Kelsey Haas. that's kind of similar, and it features one of the characters that's in this, the guidance counselor, her love story. So I think that's really cool. But these books are really important to me, and I've really loved them. One of my other favorite authors is Miel Moreland, and it goes like this, just scratches an itch in my brain. When you write about a pop girl group, but there's definitely some tension between some of the leads because they've dated, and it gets me. Anyone who knows me knows that I love this book so much, and I've read it I think 4 times at this point. There's nothing like it. The way that Miel just brings them all together, they're all queer, and it's just so powerful to see an all queer girl group get love, and I think that's really important. It also touches on found family, building and rebuilding friendships, and learning, how to cope with loss and grief and getting over heartbreaks, and it has everything. It's such a great book. It's something that has always stuck with me. It's something that I always recommend. It has a stranglehold on my heart. It always has, and I'm so glad that Miel continues to write. I love all of Miel's books, but this one holds a special place in my heart. The next author that I'm going to talk about, I've talked about before, and anyone who knows me knows how much I love Tashi. Tashi Boyahan is one of my absolute favorite authors. Auto-buy. You cannot say anything to me about Tashi. I will probably block you. That's a joke, but no one can tell me anything about these. These are my babies. I love them. Tashi's debut, Counting Down With You, has stuck with me for so long. And I don't know, I think I've hit 10 times of reading this and rereading it. Ace and Karina are they're everything to me. I love how she incorporates mental health, especially anxiety rep. It's really truly one of those things that I love seeing in books, especially young adult books, and feeling like I'm not alone. Obviously, A Show for Two is also up there, and Stay With My Heart. These are all incredible. She also has Perfect for Me. It's on my shelf. I think I forgot to bring it over here, but all of these are so special to me, especially Counting Down With You. It is fake dating, so everyone knows. What can I say? I'm predictable. I love the representation. I love how great Tashi is with writing. Just in general, she pulls you in and you never want to leave, and I don't think I've ever left. Help, I'm still at the restaurant. I will always be at Tashi's restaurant, and I cannot recommend her books enough. These are probably, especially Counting Down With You, is probably the one book that I turned to the most in the last few years when I'm just not feeling it, because I know it's like a warm hug and it's like coming home. And honestly, you can do that with any of Tashi's books. They're emotional, they're sweet, they're just, again, they're a warm hug, and I cannot recommend them enough. Okay, next YA. Ow! God, I'm an idiot. Don't mind me, I'm kind of stupid sometimes. Next book that, I could technically say any of Ava's books, but A Study in Drowning. It captured me in a way that, not many dark academia gothic books have. And it's kind of never let me go. There's a sequel, there's a little companion novel that's incredible. I've read them all, I've loved them all. There is just something about Effie and Preston and their story, just the story and the world that Ava creates. This is... I wish I could describe it. There's just something about the way that Ava writes that I feel understood. And this is no different. This is also a gorgeous edition. I forget where I got this. I think this is a deluxe collector's edition. I don't remember Who knows? I have 3 brain cells. But I truly, this book, any of Ava's books, have a hold on me, and I will never let them go. The other series, I posted about it on Instagram the other day. Y'all already know. Culpa Mia, Mercedes Ron. I watched the first movie first because one of my friends was like, you have to watch this, you have to watch this. And I was like, okay. Not thinking I would be that into it, and it put me in a chokehold. Yes, I do have all of the deluxe versions that they came out with. This is the most recent. I haven't watched Our Fault yet, so I'm very excited to do that. It just came out the other day. These books, those movies, there's something about them that scratches an itch in my brain, and they've always picked me up out of a dark place, and like, I know I can go to those movies as like a comfort, or the books, and again, it's similar to Toshi's. It feels like coming home. It feels like old friends, and Nick and Noah. I don't know what Mercedes put into these, but yeah. Like when Taylor Swift said, I put narcotics in all of my songs, I think Mercedes put narcotics in these because sometimes it's all I think about. And you know what? I'm not going to be ashamed of that, because I really love these. Stepbrother romance is not really my thing. I know it's like through marriage, but this one just put a hold on me. And like, the deluxe editions also have this gorgeous, I love that it's like checkered flag, and they have gorgeous art in them, and I can't get enough. And yes, at some point I will be watching Our Fault, but I'm filming this on a Saturday, obviously. See, the alma mater is being repped, but I can't wait to watch Our Fault or Culpa Nuestra. Yeah, these books, I love them. And yes, I do have a little red Porsche by my normal editions, not the special editions, because who would I be if I didn't? Let's be realistic. Okay, these are also YA. So I think I'm getting close to finishing up YA. No, I'm not, I lied. I'm a lying liar who lies. Next up, let's talk about the series, because I know I am not the only one who read these. But I read these before the show came out, and I remember middle school me. These put me in a chokehold. And still to this day, every now and then, I'll go back and reread the first few and be like, yeah, this is wild, but there's nothing like the Gossip Girl books. Cicely von Zieziger, yeah, these are just a comfort for me, simply because I think because I grew up reading them, and I grew up with them in middle school and loving them so much that, like, when I go back to like that innocence that I had back then, and just finding the joy and love of reading that I had. And besides these, I'm going to put a picture of them up here. The Click books, I don't know what was put in those. And I know I'm moving and like I'm trying to downsize, but there is a part of me that wants an entire box set of this series, just because it's not really in libraries anymore, because are the kids even reading those? I think we should bring them back, because the Click books and these books were a staple in the rotation. Also the Pretty Little Liars books, but which, did I ever finish that series? I feel like I did. I feel like I was like 15 books in. I know I at least got through like 13. I'm pretty sure. I was deep in. I have finished the whole Click series. I have finished the whole Gossip Girl series multiple times. I did go back and reread this, I want to say like 6 months ago, and yeah, it still slaps. Is it unrealistic? You bet. But yeah, these books are, I always know that, like, if I need a good time, I will just go back and read these, because sometimes you just gotta go back. And like, I love the show. I wasn't as much of a fan of like the reboot or spin-off or whatever they did. But these books, staple in my life. You'll pry them from my Cold Dead hands, as well as the Click series and then Pretty Little Liars. I'll post pictures of them. The other book, I know this just came out, but both this and You've Reached Sam are very much staples in the routine in this household. Justin Tao has written books that really make me feel seen and like the way I grieved and the grief that I feel, and I've loved that. I've loved reading them. I've loved being a part of this world. I wish I was in it sometimes because I want to be friends with these people. Like, I love Oliver. I love Julie. I mean, I've talked ad nauseum about this book, but probably You've Reached Sam too. So, if you know me, you know I love these books. They're a huge comfort for me, and they made me feel seen in a way that I hadn't in a very long time, especially with grief. And I think that's something that's really, really special. Apologies for that, like, weird flip-flop. Yeah. I had a video the other day that, like, didn't save with the sound, so I wanted to make sure that I didn't just spend, I don't know, 25, 30 minutes yapping about books already, and not have there be sound. Not have there be sound, so, yeah. Okay, anyways, continuing on, we just talked about You Found Oliver and You've Reached Sam by Justin Tao. I don't think this will surprise anyone because I feel like this is a lot of people's, and I don't even, like, I don't want to call it a comfort read, but, like, sometimes I just feel better after reading The Hunger Games. Don't ask. I don't know. My brain works weird, okay? Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Okay. This is, it's a staple. Whether it's the books or the movies, they're a staple in the routine. They're so well written, they're so well done, and I often think about these, to be honest. I often will think about The Hunger Games and think about what it was like and like the world that Suzanne created and just how incredible it was. And to this day, I don't think there's a dystopian that has hit me the way that the Hunger Games series has. And I'm just being honest. Like, I don't read a ton of dystopian in general, but I have read more than just the Hunger Games in the dystopian genre, and this book is just something that is really, really meaningful, and I think will be one of those books that they refer to as the classics years from now. So yeah, The Hunger Games is a big staple in this house. I'm gonna move some of these. Oh heavens. I do not have my life together, in case you're wondering. So, one of the other books that I've really, really enjoyed, and I also just really, really love the author, is The Shadow Sister by Lily Mead. I met Lily at ALA a few years ago, and she's one of the sweetest human beings. She also has a beautiful, beautiful prose, and I love the way Lily writes. She also just had a novel that's like in the Scooby-Doo world come out called The Hex Girls, and I think she also has a short story in an anthology. But Lily and her family have been through so much, and I want the book community to rally around her because I do think, experiencing homelessness, especially in the United States, is a huge epidemic. And Lily is such a beautiful writer, and I just wish more people had read her work and knew about her and could fall in love with her the way that I did. This book, it's really special to me. It is signed, which I think is really, really sweet. She also, at ALA, had one of her books that, like, anybody who met her signed, and yeah, she's just a really special person. She's a beautiful writer, and this book is absolutely stunning, and I really wish more people had read it, but I do love this book, and I wanted to shout it out because I don't reread it often, but I had the most incredible feeling reading it for the first time, and I think everyone should experience it. Y'all already know what's coming next, so I don't know why you won't be surprised. No one will be surprised. Do I even need to say her name? Y'all already knew this was coming. You knew it was coming for me. How many times have I talked about this series? How many times have I forced this series down someone's throat? Because I think it's one of the most well-crafted fantasy books, or romantic fantasy, whatever you want to call it. To me, it's more fantasy than romance. So, just this series as a whole, I cannot wait to see what they do with the Oathbound. The Oathbound paperback, because these are just perfect. I'm sorry. Literal perfection. You cannot tell me anything about these. If you don't like these, I need you to reread them and reconsider, because you're wrong. And that's all I need to tell you. You're absolutely wrong. You are wrong. If you don't like these, obviously that's a joke. Reading is subjective. Everyone is entitled to their own opinions. But you can't say anything to me about this series. Like, you literally cannot say a word to me about it. I will take no criticism of Tracy Deonn. I really won't. I like, truly, like, I think I tell everyone and their mother to read these. I can't even tell you the number of times that I've recommended them. These are the books that I used in my birthday post this year to show off chapter 32. Like, these are a staple in everything that I do. And even when I'm not reading them, I'm thinking about them. Yeah. I'm always thinking about them. And Tracy announced something the other day, and I said, ma'am, take my money. Pretty much. Just take my money, because nothing has hit me the way that this has. Also, the little spines are making a sword, in case you're wondering. And it brings me joy, okay? So if you're facing them this way, oh heavens. No, yeah, they line up to make a sword. I'm assuming it's the sword of Arthur, not author. Good lord, baby. But yeah, I could talk about these ad nauseum. Anyways, go read The Legendborn Cycle by Tracy Deonn. Now, okay, well, finish the video first, then go read them. But yeah, you all knew that was coming. You all knew I could not go into a video talking about comfort reads and books that I love and not talk about the Legendborn Cycle. The next two series also probably won't come as a surprise to most people. I will tell you I love one more than the other, but that doesn't mean I love her any less. We gotta talk about my girl Jenny Han. We just, you already know, I pulled out my pretty ones because I'm obsessed with them. I would sell every book in my collection but these, because y'all, you would have to pry these from my cold dead hands, okay? This summer I turned pretty. Obviously it's not summer without you, and we'll always have summer. These are the Fairy Loot editions. They're beautiful, they're wonderful. You can't tell me shit about them, okay? Like, and I'm sorry. I'm cursing Fairy Loot for these. Because what do you mean? Yeah, I'm deadpanning into the camera. What do you, like, even the dust cover. Like, the dust jacket is beautiful, but, like, the actual books are just, oh god, they're insanely gorgeous. And I'm gonna show you all of them because I was late to watching the show. I won't even lie to you. I have always been a die-hard To All the Boys girl. Like, I love all of Jenny's books, but To All the Boys hit me in a way that not many book series ever have. And I was late to watching the show. I think I started, like, I binged it after I think episode 6 of season 3 had come out, and watched the last few episodes with the gang on the interwebs. But yeah, I'm just opening these so you can see them all and see the beauty as I talk about it. So yeah, I was late to the show because I love the book series, and I did end up rebuying the audiobooks on, shout out to Libro FM. I did Also, yes, they are all signed by the Queen herself. And I love that the characters who portray Belly, Conrad, and Jeremiah are also the ones that are narrating the audiobooks now. I thought that was really, really cool. I also do have the audiobooks for Two Wild Boys, so this is the under the cover for We'll Always Have Summer. I mean, hello. The perfection. No crumbs. So I do really love these books, and I think it's such a special experience that Jenny created to be able to have people online sit around and like talk about these books, and not only the books but the show. And I think the show did such a great job following the books and expanding on the books, and they're very, very comforting to me. I also think that these are like literally even the backs are beautiful. Again, you would have to pry these from my cold dead hands. They're gorgeous. They match the series so well, and I would be remiss to say that like I don't often think about, especially now that the show is concluded and we're just waiting for the movie, especially now that it's over, going back and like reading these again or listening to them again. And of course, I'm gonna have to talk about them. I'm gonna have to talk about them. This is also the Fairy Loot versions of the To All the Boys series. Anyone who knows me knows that I have long been talking about this, especially since the first movie came out. Even these actual books do the same thing that the other ones do. This is LJ and PK. I just think Lara Jean is so relatable, and I don't know if it's just because I was also that nerdy kid in high school who was so focused on school, and I've read a lot and escaped into books, and I think the only difference between her and I was I didn't lose my mom, and I was also I played sports, but I was also really introverted, and you always dream about dating in high school and falling in love. And I think for me, Lara Jean idealizes love the same way that I do, and she's a hopeless romantic, and she loves baking, and I love that she loves writing letters. I've even utilized this in one of my books, not literally the exact same, but Jenny Han has inspired my love for letter writing and epistolary type books, and I love the whole story. I love how much she found herself and started to understand herself. This is the P.S. I Still Love You cover, which is also gorgeous. I think Fairy Loot knocked it out of the park with both of Jenny Han's series. And I love all the little nods in the end papers. Like the cupcakes, the lacrosse, her bow. Gosh, it's hard to put into words what these books mean to me, and I own the original covers of the books, I own the movie covers of the books, I own this version, I own the adorable new notebook type books that they came out with for these. Any different kind of cover or new spin that they put on these books, I eat them up every time. This series is so close to me, and I think if you go deep diving into my TikTok back, I'm talking years, I'm talking 5+ years, you may indeed find some videos of me in a Team John Ambrose shirt, and no, you cannot convince me otherwise. And then this is the Always and Forever Lara Jean cover. Again, just literal perfection in these books. And I love all of the gorgeous, again, nods the LJ and PK. Now, anyone who knows me knows, yes, I am Team John Ambrose, but I also have stated multiple times, I am not mad that Lara Jean and Peter ended up together. I'm not. I just loved who John Ambrose was as a character, and I don't know, I think these books are really important, both series, and I mean, especially in well, I don't want to say especially in, but like in both of them, her exploration of grief, especially for young adults, and like you're losing someone so close to you, like both Belly and Lara Jean lost their mother. Well, not Belly, sorry. Both Lara Jean and then Jeremiah and Conrad lost their mother, and I think it's really important, especially in media, to explore things that do happen to kids, and letting them be seen in media. And like grief manifests in so many different ways, and I know like Lara Jean and Margot weren't that young, but they were still pretty young when their mom passed, as well as Kitty being super young. But I just think in general, Jenny Han and these two series have such a special place in my heart. And whether it's these books, the movies, the audiobooks, a physical copy on my Kindle, there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about them or think about the impact that they've had on me. The amount of people that I've recommended them to or sent them to as gifts because I knew they would love them is pretty high. But I wish I could put into words what these series mean to me. It's similar to, Legendborn or Tashi or, even Dustin Tao. Like, I love all of these books. Don't get me wrong, but there are some books that have just left a handprint on my heart, as Alpha would say. And these are definitely some of them. And I think Jenny Han, as an individual, also has. She's a wonderful human. And I love watching her in interviews and watching her talk about how she's crafted the show. And, like, I'm not sure how much involvement she had with the movies for Tell the Boys, but just the beauty and the wonder. And, like, I know she said, like, each one exists in each other's universe, but they don't exist in the same universe. I do wish, since, especially because Conrad did go to Stanford, I so wish we could get, like, a crossover of Peter and Lara Jean with Conrad and Belly, but we won't, and that's okay. In my mind, we will. In my mind, we will. But yeah, these series, if you haven't read them, I highly recommend them. They mean a lot to me, and I think everybody should read them, to be honest. They hold a special place in my heart. They really, really do. Well, hello, friends. Probably wondering, Brittany, girl, look, the dogs had to go out, okay? We just finished talking about Jenny Han's two series that hold a special place in my heart, so I thought I would round out the end of the YA with two other series that also have a very, very special place in my heart. I'm going to just slide these adult books out of the way because this do be a doozy. Let's chit chat about the Crave series. Why don't we? I don't even know where to start with this. When I first started my TikTok way back in 2020, early 2020, I had seen this book because I had followed the Entangled Teen TikTok, which at the time was run by Madison. For those of you who had been there for a long time, you would know. And I had seen it and was like, oh, that sounds fun. It's like a new age Twilight, and like obviously I was a Twilight kid. And I went and got it and literally became my personality. I loved this so much, and it truly became something that was part of me. And I mean, it's part of the reason that I started working in publishing. I ended up helping the author with her Facebook group, Tracy Wolf. To this day, Tracy and I are still very good friends 5 years later. And so, like, yes, I'm a tiny bit biased, but I read these before I started working for and became friends with Tracy. I don't work for her anymore. but I am still very good friends with her. Everything that she's put out, including Sweet Nightmare, it all holds a special place in my heart. But this series, especially these two books, and I think Cherish are probably my favorite in the series. But it's hard to pick. This series has always been there for me. It's always been a comfort. It's always been something that I've leaned on. It means a lot to me, especially every time like I look in the acknowledgments, and sometimes I'm acknowledged, and it means the world to me, this series. And I've reread Crave I don't even know how many times. I'm pretty sure I have an annotated copy, and this series is very, very special to me. Tracy is very, very special to me. I love everything that Tracy's written, including Sweet Nightmare. She also just had her first contemporary in 6 years come out called It Happened on a Sunday. I'm going to post it right here. I'll post both of them right here. And I just love how Tracy writes. It's so special, and it really brings this wonderful world to life, and I feel very seen in Macy. I'm a lot like Macy. I'm a lot like Grace. And the series is one that I know that, like, if I'm having a bad time, I can lean on it. And it will be there for me. It's very special. I love it. I will always love it. Yes, I have a bazillion copies of it. I think up here there's some German editions. There's some German editions over there. Like, Crave series. It's very special to me, and I could go on and on, spend days and days and days and days talking about it, but yeah, the Crave series. And we're going to round out the YA with a duology that also holds a very, very special place in my heart. To Kill a Shadow and To Shatter the Night by Catherine Quinn. I fell in love with these. I don't even know how to describe it. Jude and Kiara mean the world to me. I'm also reading her upcoming book, Stolen Midnights, which is incredible as well. But these are just... I think I've read each one of these at least 4 times. I talk about them a lot. I think they are just some of the best, and I feel like it's such a unique storyline, and I love how it works. And Catherine is great at world building. She's great at character development, and these two have gotten me through a lot of hard times. And I want to say, is this dedication? Yes, it's this one. The dedication to Shatter the Night, or To Kill a Shadow, is one of my favorites. It says, "To all those who have known the weight of darkness and still shine, you are stronger than you know." And that kind of hit me. And you know, like, when you've gone through so much and you still shine, that's like, it's really important. And I love that that's what the dedication was. And it still sits with me. It's like one of those. I mean, I think every one of Catherine's dedications are super sweet, even in To Shatter the Night. It's never stop climbing your way out of the darkness. Dawn is inevitable, and you are stronger than you believe. Like, she's very good in her dedications, making sure people know, like, hey, you are good enough. You can get out of this. And that's kind of how all of her main characters are. Like, they've all gone through something, but they're stronger because of it. And it's important to show that, like, you can come out of the darkness, and you can see the light, and you are stronger than you know. And I think Kiara embodies that. I think Jude embodies that. And I think every character that she's written embodies that. But this has a special place in my heart, and I cannot recommend this duology enough. Okay. That's all the YA. So, yeah, I hope you all brought your popcorn or your snackies and your drinks for this one. I probably should have brought my water in here, because this long-winded, I do get, it does be a little bit of a struggle sometimes, but let's get into the adult books that I lean on for comfort. Y'all know we're starting strong. No one is surprised to see these. No one is surprised to see her name. I talk about Sarah Adams ad nauseum. And there's just, like, I love all of Sarah's books, but there's just something about Practice Makes Perfect and Beg, Borrow, or Steal that embedded into my soul. I truly loved these two books, and they live in my brain rent free. I think about them all the time. I think about Rome, Kentucky, this entire series all the time. And trying to figure out how I can move there and find one of the men that they have, because, you know what? Yeah. Or if they have another sister that's hiding somewhere, can I be with her, please? But these, I think Emily and Annie are two that I, like, really, really relate to. I think, I don't know, there's just something about the way that Sarah writes, and, like, these are pretty low on the spice meter. I read a variety, you know, obviously I read a lot of YA, and I read a variety of spice levels, open door, closed door, you know, and romance and an adult. But I love the way Sarah writes. I love how the romance develops. I love how the relationships develop. I love her character development. I love the little cities that she's created. These books mean a lot to me. And I've felt very, very seen by Emily. And as someone who is a pathological people pleaser, I know what Emily is feeling and thinking, and I felt so seen, and I don't think I've ever felt that seen in a character, except maybe Lara Jean, that I did with Emily, and I think that's really special. So yeah, these, while I love all Sarah Adams, I think these two are my favorites, and these two are my comforts, and I can't recommend Rome, Kentucky series enough. This also shouldn't surprise you. Anyone who knows me knows I love Kennedy Ryan, but I think Real has been my favorite, which is really hard because I love all of Kennedy's books, but Real hit in a different way, and it's very special to me. I recommend it all the time. I recommend all of Kennedy's books all the time, but yeah, I'm so excited. I think she's writing a sequel to this, or another book in this world, and I cannot wait. I love this one. I also love how shiny it is. But yeah, Neva is incredible. I loved her. One of my favorite main characters, and I can't sing Real's praises or Kennedy Ryan's praises enough. This one might be a little of a shock to people, but IPB, Ice Planet Barbarians by Ruby Dixon. If I'm having a bad day, I know that I can dive deep into my girl Ruby Dixon and know, like, yeah, Ruby got me. I fly through Ruby's books. These are fun. These are hilarious. I have read everything in the IPB series. I've read everything in the sequel series, and I have read everything in the third series. So I want to say it's Ice Planet Barbarians, Ice Planet, what the second series is called, and then there's Ice Planet Clones, which is the newest one. I have a couple to read in that, so catch me reading those. But the series, it's fun, it's funny, it brings me out of a dark place, and it kind of just, it's entertaining. It's entertaining. It's what Monster should be. I mean, I think, you know, I love the idea. I love that it's called Not Hoth. That always cracks me up. I mean, I definitely have my favorite books in the series, so I'm just using this one as, like, an example of the whole series, because I have all the ebooks. I'm loving that Berkley is doing, like, special editions of these. It makes me happy. I have literally every one that they've released. So, yeah, the series, it's a doozy to get into because there's so many, but I highly recommend it. I can't recommend it enough. It's fun, it's wild, and it is everything that you will ever want. Take note of the trigger warnings with this one, though, so just a heads up. But yeah, the Ice Planet Barbarian series and all of the companion series, rent-free. This one is a fun one for me. One of my friends, Caitlin, convinced me to read this, and it has lived in my mind rent-free ever since. Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett. I don't know what she put in this, but it was whimsical, it was fun. It is everything cozy fantasy should be. cozy fantasy romance. I loved the romance. I loved the characters. I loved the magic. This was just such a warm hug. Like, that's how I can describe this. And I read this when I was on jury duty, and it was fun. It was fun, it was whimsical, and I don't even know. Like, it's not even like it's hard to describe, but it's hard to put into words how much I enjoyed this. It's one of those books that, like, when you put it down, you want to know everything about it. You want to continue. You want to do everything and anything. And that is definitely how I felt reading this. There's 2 other books in the series. They're just as good as this one, and I cannot recommend the series enough. She also has a new series coming out, Agnes Aubert's. I think it's something about cats. Cat Sanctuary. I'm blanking on the name. Welcome to Brain Fog. But this... Go read the series. It's everything you'll want. Next up is an author that I've talked about a few different times. Y'all know that I love her. For some reason, no matter how much I try, I cannot get the normal version of Astrid Parker, but Ashley Herring Blake and Delilah Green doesn't care, Astrid Parker doesn't fail, and Iris Kelly doesn't date. All 3 of these are incredible. They're incredible, they're fun, they're sapphic. What more can I say? Ashley Herring Blake has a beautiful, beautiful way of writing, and there is nothing that gets me the way these books do, and I love them so, so much. They're so good. They're easy to read. Like, the words just flow, and Ashley has a great way of writing. I love her prose. I love the way it's structured. Character development is great. I love the little small towns that she creates, and this is just everything to me. Like, I love them. I think Astrid Parker is my favorite, but it's hard to decide. I love all 3 of them. I highly recommend these or any of Ashley's works. You should just go read them. I don't know if this needs an introduction. I don't think I've talked about this one as much as I've talked about others, but People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. I'm dying for the Netflix film. I don't think you understand. There is something about Friends to Lovers that always hits me on the deepest pits of my soul. And I'm sorry, nothing hits me. In the end, like, I love Emily Henry, do not get me wrong, but nothing in her Emily Henry verse has hit me as hard as this hit me. Alex is the love of my life, and you would have to pry him for my cold dead hands, okay? I love this. It's a book that just is quintessential Friends to Lovers, and, like, trying to deny that you love your best friend. And I live for that, because I've experienced it. So, yeah. This book. Injected into my veins. I cannot wait for the movie. Tom Blythe may put me in the grave as Alex. So, yeah. People We Meet on Vacation. One of my favorites. I have talked about this one, and I've talked about it multiple times. Let's talk about Key Stevens and Game On. There is something so loving about college cheer and college football. As a girl who went to Alabama, there's nothing like it. And my glasses keep falling down. I'm so sorry. I love these 2. I wish I could put into words how damn fun this book was. Like, Hudson and Ella are everything to me, and, like, the will they, won't they sent me. I'm obsessed with it. I love that, like, not only was he an incredible football player, he was an incredible cheerleader, and, like, that is everything. Also, the anxiety over, like, competitions and stuff like that, I understood where Ella was coming from, and yeah, this book is also a warm hug. I loved it. I've read it twice already, and it just came out like a month ago. Also, look at those braid edges. Look how cute they are. Highly recommend Game On by Key Stevens, or any of Key Stevens' books. They're incredible, and you should read them. That is it. Also, Key is the reason that I bought an Uwala, and I've become addicted, so shout out to Key for giving me my new favorite emotional sport water bottle. Y'all know her, you know I love her. I don't know what else I can say about Livy. besides I Love You. Talk Flirty to Me is her debut, and it's hard to describe how much I love Livy's writing. And I think Great Dating is my favorite. I have a friend who's borrowing the book, so I don't currently have it on me, but anything that Livy has written, I've eaten up. And Livy is a wonderful human. She's a wonderful writer. I love her characters. She has incredible banter. I truly wish more people had read some of Livy's work, because it really is like the quintessential rom-coms. It's fun, it's flirty, there is open door scenes, so I will say that. It's so fun. Like, I'm sorry, this is literally about a girl who goes home and has to record an erotic audio book with her brother's best friend who she used to have a crush on, and like, I'm sorry, that's hilarious. And this was just so fun. I loved it. It's entertaining. They are great. Sam and Jesus, Mother Mary. I just blanked on her name. Oh my god. Anyways, but these two are so much fun. I love them. I love this book. I love everything that Livy writes. I cannot recommend them enough. Please go read these. Whether it's Talk Flirty to Me, Some Kind of Blunderful, Plain Strains and All the Feels, or The Great Dating Fake Off, Livy never misses. Now let's talk about my girl Kimberly Lemming. I have the indie covers of these, and I'm so glad that Orbit picked them up. This is That Time I Got Drunk and Yeeted a Love Potion to the Werewolf. These are kind of like IPB for me. They're fun. They're hilarious. Like, Kimberly just infuses so much joy into her writing and in her books, and I cannot get enough of these. I'm sorry, they all leave me cracking up. They're wacky, they're fun, the banter is hilarious, and Kimberly she has this way of making you laugh no matter what, and I can't get enough of these. I want her to never stop writing. The titles are hilarious. She's hilarious. The characters are hilarious. She does a great job of incorporating magic and like giving a cozy vibe. Like, they're not fully cozy fantasy. They're not, but like, they're hilarious. And they're cozy, hilarious, fun fantasy. There is steam in these, so it's everything to me. These are everything to me. You can't go wrong with the Kimberly Lemming, and she knocks it out of the park every time. So highly recommend this series or any of Kimberly's books. Just go pick them up. You won't regret it. Now, the last three authors, I think everyone will be like, okay, Brittany, we get it. Girl, we get it. Dylan Dyer. You knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. I cannot do a video talking about comfort reads or books that I love without mentioning her and these books. The Brave and the Reckless is her trad debut with Dell. Everything to me. Literally everything to me. You cannot tell me that Forced Proximity is not impeccable. Impeccable in this. Like, nothing gets me like this book. I also love that Ezra is obviously neurodivergent. I do believe she has EDS. If I'm not mistaken, it's either EDS or POTS. I cannot remember, but as well. And I understood her because I was also someone who wanted to go to med school and like felt the pressure of being perfect. And I don't know. Ezra and Noah are everything to me, but if you know me, my favorite female main character that Dylan has ever written is Cordelia from Rapunzel is Losing It. I'm obsessed with both that and Cinderella's Faking It, but there's something about Cordy that I just felt seen, and I think Dylan is great at that. She makes you feel seen in her characters, and again, these damn glasses. There's nothing like the joy and the happiness that I feel reading a Dylan Dyer book. It gives me everything I need, and whether it's Cinderella's Facing It, Rapunzel's Losing It, The Brave and the Reckless and Brave Town, or anything else that Dylan has coming, I know no matter what, she's got me, and I will read one of my new favorite books, and it's evident. I mean, I did a whole video about The Brave and the Reckless with Love is a War Song, talking about some of the best cowboy books I've ever read. So, go read Dylan's books. Period. End of discussion. But I'll continue to tell you, so don't feel bad. You will hear it again. The next author is also one that I've talked about, and it's hard to pick favorites with her, but I managed to do it, don't worry. Let's talk about Maisie Eddings. Late Bloomers and Well Actually are probably two of my favorites of hers. Maisie is just magical. Like, there is nothing that gets me the way a Maisie book does. This is sapphic, in case you're wondering. And I loved everything about it. Like, I mean, even Ali Hazelwood has said to me this is like Taylor Swift's song in book form. So yeah, she's right. This is also probably one of the most hilarious books I've ever read. Well, actually, I loved the romance. I loved these two. I thought it was hilarious. And I cannot think about hot dogs without thinking about this book. I'm sorry. I just can't. Like, I think it was Kate Spade. Somebody posted a Kate Spade, like, glittery hot dog ring, or like a shiny hot dog ring. And immediately I was like, yeah, somebody needs to buy this for Maisie Eddings. But Maisie has a beautiful, beautiful way of writing. So no matter what book you choose, whether it's one of these two, which Late Bloomer, or Well Actually, or A Brush with Love, goodness gracious, just any of them, you just can't go wrong. She also does have a YA Chilean Technicolor that is incredible, and I can't recommend her enough. Maisie, you are a superstar. Please never stop writing. Your books mean so much to me, and I can't recommend them enough. Y'all know who's coming next. These are the last two books that I'm going to talk about when it comes to books that I find so much comfort in. They're comforting, they're favorites, they're rereads, over rereads. You knew this was coming. You know I've talked about her multiple times. Let's talk about Danica Nava. The Truth According to Ember and Love is a War Song. Either one, these books are so special to me. In case you're wondering, this Truth According to Ember by Danica Nava was the first traditionally published Indigenous romance. It was published in 2024. Just let that sink in. The U.S. was founded by Indigenous people. It's the land of so many Indigenous tribes, and 2024 was the first time we got a traditionally published Indigenous romance. It's become my personality ever since I read it, and so is Love is a War Song. I've talked about this, I think, 5 times on the channel already. I know I've talked about this before, so I don't know what else there is I can say about Danica, except thank you for allowing Indigenous romance to have this big of a spotlight and to showcase Indigenous love. It means so much to us, and it's hard to put into words because I love seeing Indigenous women at the forefront of the romance, and Danica does it so beautifully. I cannot wait to see what she does next, but I think these two books will always have a special place in my heart, as will anything that Danica does. And if you haven't read either of these, you're truly missing out on some of the most incredible romance books. They're rom-coms, they're funny, the banter is great, and you simply cannot go wrong. They will make you laugh, they'll make you tear up, they'll make you believe in love. And Danica is a beautiful writer, and I cannot sing her praises enough. Well, friends, that's it. That's everything. I don't even know how many books we've gone through at this point. I have no idea how long this video is going to be. because I'm truly a yapper. I'm surprised I was able to get through it without, truly like. I'm still definitely out of breath because I have been talking a lot, and that's really hard for me. I've even like tried to slow down my cadence a little bit so it's not as hard. But these are all the books that I turn to when I need a warm hug, when I need something comforting, when I need something that I know that I love. And I can't recommend them enough. From YA to adult to some of the erotica and monster smut that I read, you can find comfort in so many different books, in so many different genres. And I think that's really special. I think it's special to have books like these and books that truly touch your soul. And all of these books have done that for me in one way or another. And they're special. They will always be special to me. I cannot sing their praises enough. I like, and it's hard for me to put into words what they mean. I talked about it a little bit at the beginning, but I've been very, very heavily struggling with my mental health. It's progressively gotten worse. I obviously, I had COVID and pneumonia at the end of June, beginning of July, and was sick until the beginning of August, and have continued with the symptoms of COVID, giving me post-COVID long haul syndrome, and it has been really, really hard because it's really isolating when you have no energy and every day is a struggle to even do the most basic things, and it's definitely left me more depressed than I've ever been, and I've had a few mental breakdowns. I've had panic attacks, and I think it's really important also to not only talk about books and being visible and seeing yourself and these characters, but to also be open about mental health and help erase that stigma. I'm not afraid to admit when I'm struggling, and I think that's really important, and I think it can really make an impact. I'm so lucky to have the support system that I do, and to have the friends that have been there for me, especially knowing just truly how hard I've struggled with trying to get disability to approve this, because there's not exactly a single test that will tell you you have post-COVID long haul, and most people who have it, the symptoms aren't going to show up on standard tests that you would take when you have COVID, and I think that's the hardest part, because you're trying to defend yourself and defend the fact that you're sick, and anyone who knew me before I had this knew I was active and happy and I could do things, and I was trying to get back in the gym, and it's been really, really hard. It's been really hard, and I don't want to depress people, but it's hard, it's isolating. You feel so removed from everything because you're so fatigued and you're tired, and even when you do stuff, you're winded or you're short of breath, or it just makes you even more tired, and it starts the cycle all over again, and you're sleeping all the time, and if you're not sleeping, you're restless because you're not feeling good, and it's definitely not been great. Even the tiny couple things that I've been able to do for a few hours, it's taken me out the next few days, and I feel for anybody who has struggled with this or struggles with a disability in general. It's isolating, it's scary, and I have to remind myself it's okay to not be okay, especially dealing with everything that I've dealt with and still being sick months later, and knowing that I've seen so many specialists and talking to my pulmonologist and him saying hey, this could be 6 to 8 months before you're even feeling mostly back to normal, and that's really hard to think about. And I love that I have books like this to turn to when I am at my lowest and having those thoughts that are scary. And I have books, I have a great support system, and I'm so thankful to these authors for writing books that can pull me out of a dark place. And I think that's why I wanted to do this video, because I wanted to highlight books that have meant a lot to me, but have also been able to pull me out of that dark place and to make me feel like that spark of joy that has been missing for the last, I don't know, we're in the 10th month and that was 3.5 months. And I in general, I just wish, I mean, some of these books are pretty popular, so I won't say it's like I want more people to read them, but I do just want to, like, take a minute, and it's much longer than a minute, but, like, give them their dues, give the authors their dues, and, like, even if, you know, like, you're not in this video or whatever, I hope all authors know that, like, their work is important, and their work is likely something to someone that they don't even know, you know, like, and I think that's the beauty of writing, is that these authors are taking thoughts in their head, and people are seeing themselves in characters that they've created, and, you know, like, it makes people feel seen, it makes people feel heard, and in a time when things look so bleak, it's important to have that joy or that feeling of being seen, and I think all of these authors have done it so well. And even if it's just, like, being able to write a book that's funny and bring someone joy, that's important. And now more than ever, with the rise of book bans, it's so important to show authors love, especially BIPOC authors, especially queer authors, because their books are targeted so much more. And it's important to share physical media, but media in general is being attacked, and I think it's important that we defend that, and we defend these authors and show them love, and are able to still enjoy media, and we want to stand up for that. And, like, I would go 10 toes down for any of these authors any day of the week, and I think that's really important. But I also hope they know that even if they never watch this video, I hope in the back of their mind they know that somewhere, someone out there has fallen in love with their work, and it's given them a light at the end of the tunnel, or, you know, the warm hug via the characters and the pages, and a time they've needed it most. And I hope they know that. And I'm going to try not to cry, and, like, obviously I hope that one day my books do that for someone, but I truly hope these authors know that I appreciate them, and I never want them to stop writing unless they want to stop writing. I'm so glad that I was able to sit down and make this video and talk about these books, and to show my appreciation to these authors, and to give them the love that they deserve. But in an effort to not make this video 700 hours long, I'm gonna wrap it up now and just say thank you to these authors. Thank you for writing these books. Thank you for allowing me comfort when I needed it, and giving me such a special world and characters to escape into. If you liked this video, feel free to leave a like, subscribe, comment down below, talk about the books that you find comfort in your comfort reads, because I'm always looking for new comfort reads, obviously. And I hope that if you haven't read some of these books, that you go out and read them and show these authors some love. And I thank you for joining me. I know this is probably really long. I'm not even going to guess how long it's been, but thank you. If you've enjoyed it, feel free to stick around and subscribe and hang out with me. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!